迎接另一个晨曦，带来全新空气。
气息改变，情味不变，茶香飘满情意。
我家大门常打开，开放怀抱等你。
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of BKNY Hoops. If you're new to the channel, I'm your host as always, Rashid White. All right, you guys actually see the title, you see the graphics, and you especially see the graphics. Cam Thomas on his way to China next season. We will be looking at him in the Chinese Basketball Association. And I'm like, damn, that is crazy, BK. Why would you say some crazy, outlandish stuff like that? Well, I'm gonna get into the many reasons why that actually really is the case. And we've seen it from other players in the past. So Cam Thomas will not be the first. Not every single player that comes into the NBA, it's going to really make it. The money he's actually really demanding. And I get it. He has a lot of confidence in himself. That's really great. But again, we have to be realistic. And I'm just one of the people that really vouched for Cam Thomas a couple of years ago. I went on Frank Isola and Brian Scalabrine show when they were trashing him. You know, I'm like, hey, come on, man. The dude scored like three back-to-back triple 40-point games in a row. You got to give the kid a shot, you know. But the more and more I actually watch, then I'm like, then I compare him to other players in the league, other two guards, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Cade Cunningham, Anthony Edwards. He's just not those type of guys. Donovan Mitchell, right? He's not those type of guys. All those guys guard. They actually pass the ball on a consistent basis. They're bigger, like stronger, more athletic, you know, more skilled, more efficient. Right, we're going to get into this story over here. It seems like Zach Lowe and responds right back to Cam Thomas. And, well, I'm sorry, Cam Thomas calls out Zach Lowe again. And I know I'm late to this story, man, but it's been kind of hectic for me. I'm trying to get more of these videos out. But let's get into this actual story from, and we're going to get into some more other video clips over here from even Locked On Guy, who actually really kind of agrees with me. I'm trying to look for the video that I saw. And it kind of backs up everything what I was saying. And it's really, for me, it's not really more or less the passing, but it's more the actual defense, right? He doesn't play passing lanes. Guys can get straight line drives on him. They can go like 8 out of 10 from the field against him. He doesn't really put up any type of resistance. Right, his overall size, when you actually look at, you know, his counterparts there, it's you know, let me get this story up over here. All right, here we go over here, man. Next, Cam Thomas calls out Zach Lowe media for spreading lies and narratives. Now I'm gonna get into the actual meat of this story over here. I was trying to get the actual video clip here in this story where they actually get into Cam Thomas, but this is like an hour-and-a-half show, and I just don't have the time to really sift through it. And it says over here, if Cam Thomas had listened to the subsequent 12 minutes, I don't think he did. I know he probably did. It's just, you know, ego, man, right? But I don't know. He would have heard me deep dive into his game and talk about his career, high in assists, certain kind of passes he's gotten meaningfully better at, Nick Claxton Live's little dump offs and stuff like that. Lowe said on Clutch Points. I have said consistently for 2 years about Cam Thomas. The guy can straight up get buckets, and there's a place for him in the NBA. To me, that place is more likely a 6-man scoring burst guy, which is about what I said in a 12-minute segment. And it says over here, what does he look like as an off-the-ball player? I'm not sure that anyone really knows that yet, and we haven't seen a lot of evidence of it. And that's the thing over here, man. We haven't really seen a lot of evidence. You know, a huge sample size. Like we look at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Cade Cunningham, Donovan Mitchell, Anthony Edwards, we've seen a big, huge sample size, and especially the key thing is actually in the playoffs, because the regular season and the playoffs are two totally separate seasons. Like, you see the attention to detail on the scouting reports in the playoffs, where these guys are really looking at your weaknesses. Like, I looked at Cam Thomas really kind of going to his left hand, driving with his left. He's not really that good. So, like, in a 7-game series, they would kind of do that. So we have, and that's how you actually improve as a basketball player, when other teams in series, like 7-game series, really starts exposing you. Then you got to go into, like, lab it out, get into the lab pretty much, and work on those things. So we don't really know from Cam Thomas. Why are you going to pay him $100 million? And the same thing with Jonathan Kuminga. You just haven't really seen a large sample size. It's not that these guys aren't talented, and I say with Cam Thomas, he's a great, like, high percent, like a good ISO player, a good shot maker, but that's about it. I mean, that's his strengths pretty much, right? And you're talking about carrying a team for 82 something games, right? And then you get into the playoffs. Your legs are going to be shot. You're not going to really be making those tough shots, right? So let's look into the draft class. All of these teams pretty much passed up on Cam Thomas, right? This is the first round. Cade Cunningham, Scotty Barnes. None of these teams saw any type of interest. The 26 teams didn't show any type of interest in Cam Thomas. And why would they now? Right? He hasn't proven anything. He hasn't done anything. He hasn't shown that he could really lead a team for the money that he's actually really commanding. So, let's go into the locked on guy. Right? Let's go into he's pretty much echoing what I've been saying all year. Let's get into that.
That's fine, but I think that more than anything is a signal that his next tenure is going to be coming to a close, because clearly the Nets haven't been over the moon about what they've seen from Cam Thomas. Otherwise, they would have offered him more than mid-level exception if they viewed him as that star player, in the ilk that he views himself. They would have offered him a deal, over $20 million, like we just saw Josh Giddey. Similar situation to Cam Thomas in restricted free agency. Not a lot of cap space teams around the league. Bulls gave him a 4-year, $100 million deal to be their starting point guard for the foreseeable future. And the Nets were not willing to make anything even close to that commitment for Cam Thomas. And if Cam is saying that he's going to keep doing what he's doing and he's not going to change anything, why would the Nets stance on what they're willing to pay him?
And why would anybody else in the league, right? See, that's what I'm saying. Like, and this is what gets a lot of players out of the NBA. They're not willing to change, right? It's better that he looks to go and pass more, right? It's because that makes him more unpredictable as a player, right? Like, so if he's just going to go out there and look to score, I mean, it's easy for a defender to lock in on him and really play like you got Jaden McDaniels on you. Like, who's some other good high-end defenders? Like Jaden McDaniels, Donovan Mitchell can actually guard, Anthony Edwards, Shea can actually play defense. I mean, you got to look to pass, man, right? If you look to pass and get other guys involved, you want to keep those guys off balance some. You don't know, like Jokic. It's really hard to really double team him because he's always going to make the right play. So that's the balance that Cam Thomas really needs right now. And then let's look at the numbers, right? He's shooting just under 35% from the 3-point line. That's below average. Let's say average, right? Because 34.9%, let's round it up. 35% from the 3-point line. Undersized guards like Cam Thomas has to be able to shoot 40 to 41% from the 3-point line. You also, in terms of being a defender, you need to be able to pick up 94 feet. If you look at Davion Mitchell, right, he picks up 94 feet. He's disruptive. You have to be that. If you're not shooting 40-something% from the three as an undersized guard, all they're going to do is switch on a guy like Paolo Banchero onto you. And Paolo Banchero is going 8 out of 10 from the field. And then now you actually have to send help. You have to send help. And that's going to leave the three-point shooters wide open, right? And we've seen in games where teams get hot from the three, and a lot of times the game is over in the second quarter. Also, guarding the three-point line, right? It's such a three-point driven league now that you need to go out there and guard the three-point line, right? And I'm talking about like these guys get it up in seconds. You need to have the athleticism, the foot speed to go out there and chase these guys off the three-point line. Sometimes get in the shooting pocket, right? And make them do something else. If they're a really, really good three-point shooter, make them put the ball on the floor. But Cam Thomas, right, in terms of the foot speed, just doesn't have the athleticism to get out there and run guys with the three-point line. So there's a lot of flaws there. And like in terms of the defense, I just don't think that's fixable. He doesn't have the athleticism for it. Like ball denial, unless he was I don't know, maybe slim down to like 190, but then that's even making it worse. So the average league height is about 6'6", 6'7"-ish. So right there, he's already at a disadvantage. So that's the thing, man. I just look at Cam Thomas and I just compare him to the other. Basketball's about matchups, and I always say this, right? You go out there, you play a 3-on-3 game of basketball, or 4-on-4, 5-on-5, and you're not winning. You're not going to run it back with the same guys. It's time to change something up over here. Cam Thomas, the offensive rating and defensive rating, he doesn't change any of that. You bring Shea on this team. You bring Donovan Mitchell on this team. You bring Kay Cunningham on this team. The offensive rating goes up. The defensive rating goes up somewhat. I'm not saying they're going to be top 5 in offensive rating, but like last year, or last season, I should say, the Nets were like 27, 28 in offensive rating, defensive rating. And with him on the floor, that didn't change. Those numbers did not change whatsoever in the limited sample size that we actually really seen of Cam Thomas. So, Cam Thomas, I will be looking for you in the CBA, the Chinese Basketball Association. I believe that's the name of the league out there. And good luck to you, man. It's been a nice ride. It's sad, but Cam Thomas's attitude, mindset it's really, he's kind of doing it to himself. He won't. I mean, a 6 role. You heard locked on guy. I mean, that's exactly right. That is the right role for him. As a 6-man, you come in. You'll have some. Like in the playoffs, because he can't carry a team 82 games, plus like go on a deep playoff run. I just don't think he's built for it. I don't see it. So I will wrap this video up. Definitely like, comment, subscribe, and certainly share this video. I'm going to try to get more live streams. I know you guys like the lives. But I just recently had a newborn baby. She's about 4 months, I'm sorry. And she's unpredictable in terms of her sleep pattern, man. I mean, I'll put her to sleep. She'll lay on my chest. And then I put her down, and then she wakes up again, man. I mean, I don't want to get a live show in, and then she starts crying, and I gotta just cancel the show. So hopefully her sleeping pattern gets better. I will definitely get more live streams in. All right. So again, like, comment, subscribe, certainly share the video, and when you share, the universe certainly shares back with you. Peace.